Okay, you ready? Okay. Okay. Hi, you're watching the Zachary Team channel. Today we're going to be talking about
credit.
We're going to be talking about why it's important, how it affects you, and what is it. But first, I'm Kristina Zachary with the Zachary Team. My husband Gabriel, come say hi to everybody. We do this every single video.
Hello.
We are San Antonio's Realtor Couple. We help people buy, sell, invest here in San Antonio real estate or just other markets around. We do all sorts of types of videos. We do vlogs, luxury listings, we do open house tours. We just kind of do it all. And now we're actually bringing you a nice informational video because we always have to educate with real estate. This is Priscilla. She's a good friend of mine and she's also a realtor. She's also has her own credit company. So we're gonna dive kind of into that. So yeah, let's get into it. One thing that we completely run into, especially here in San Antonio, is people with credit issues or people needing credit repair. So we're here to kind of dive into some questions, clear some things up. If you have any more questions, you know how to hit us up at 210-504-5301, or Priscilla's information will be below. So you can also call and contact her, give her a text or an email. And she will gladly and kindly help you. So Priscilla, I think the first thing that we need to explain is, what is credit score?
So a credit score is a number that a lender gets together, and it will be an indicator of how much they can go ahead and lend out. So when they look at the numbers, they will see, okay, this is their credit score. This is how we indicate their capability of the amount that they can lend.
So diving deeper into that, how is credit score calculated?
So credit score is calculated, there's many different ways, There's a 35% of payment history. So you want to make sure that you're on time. If you have any missed payments, late or payments that are late, they will stay on your credit report for 24 months. So they will impact your credit for 2 years.
Okay.
Second will be the credit utilization of how much credit you use on your credit cards.
Isn't it like 30%? That's what
Yes.
we'll hear.
So you want to make sure that you keep your balances low. The next one will be the 15% of the length of the credit, how long you've had the credit going for whatever company it's with. The fourth one will be the credit new inquiries of credit. So those will affect yours maybe up to like 12 to 18 months. So if you have new credit or if you have, inquiries coming in, that will be something that would affect it. And of course, the last one will be the type of credit. So there is installment credit and then there is revolving credit. So those are the factors that indicate and calculate your credit score.
An accumulation of all of those things that you just said, I feel like we're so bombarded with information that in all of that, it can get muddled into what actually is a good credit score. Is it 600? Is it 700? 650? You hear people like, it needs to be 820. What is a good credit score?
So a good credit score will be from 670 to 780. That's a good credit score.
Okay.
So anything above that is excellent credit. So anything below the 670 is 669, and below that's poor credit up to 500. So those are the main factors, within the credit score numbers.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's go into, I'm a buyer. I'm ready to buy a house. You're a lender.
Yes.
And you're going to have to look at my credit score. You're going to have to pull it. So what's the difference? Is there a difference when I go to a lender to look for a house? Or when you have to apply for a credit card or go buy a car, they also pull your credit. Do they all look at the same thing? What does a lender look at for real estate, and is it different?
So yes, so a lender will look at your FICO score. So with that being said, they will pull all 3 of the credit bureaus.
Yeah.
And the middle number is what they use to determine your credit score for a mortgage.
So you mentioned, right, like 670, but I think there's a lot of buyers that have a credit score below 670, does that completely eliminate them out? Or what is kind of the lowest credit score that somebody can have? Because there's all different sorts of loans, but we're not here to talk about the loans. We're here to just talk about the credit scores in general.
Yeah. So they can go up to, below to a 580. That will be that's the lowest credit score that lenders will use. It just depends on the lenders, right? What company they go with and what their criteria are on it. So if they want to be at a 640, then they need to be at a 640. So, but the lowest will be a 580.
Okay, and do you happen to know, I know you're not a lender, but do you happen to know what lenders look at when they are examining your credit score?
So of course they will look at your payment history to make sure that it's good. And with that being said, they go ahead and if there's any missed payments, any collections, of course, how much credit you have available.
Yeah.
Because yes, you can have great credit, but it might not be good for you because it can be bringing down your score if you have a lot of credit.
Right. So in bringing down the score, I'm still a buyer, and I'm like, woo, I want to buy a house, but I think we hear what can impact our score positively, right? Everything you just said, but what can impact our score negatively?
So what can affect your scores, like I said, late payments, missed payments, anything in collections, account balances that are really high, that can affect your credit. And credit history that is too short, so if you don't have enough credit, that's another thing that affects your credit. And then accounts, if you have too many accounts that are open and have balances.
Okay.
So those are other factors that will affect your credit.
Yeah. So in dealing with your clients, what is the biggest or most common misconception that you hear about credit? Because I think credit's so vast, and it's like neuroscience to some people.
Yes.
So what's the common misconception? What's the biggest myth that you hear concerning credit?
Checking your credit score. Right, everyone's always worried, oh, it's gonna affect my credit, it's gonna affect my credit. So it's always good to pull your credit score once a year. And that's considered a soft pull. But when you do a hard pull, that is, when you're going to do personal loans, those are considered hard pulls. So those will affect your credit, but if you do them occasionally, they won't affect your credit as much.
Okay, so just don't do a lot of hard pulls. And I think that's something what's the difference? I know you just kind of said it, but is there a significant difference between a hard pull and a soft pull? Or there's anything in between?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, but where can we do the soft pulls from?
So the soft pulls are when you would go to the bureaus and ask to pull your credit.
Okay, so it's kind of true that Credit Karma doesn't affect it at all.
It does and it doesn't. It just depends. With us, we do a pull when we do the credit restoration. We look at all the aspects of your credit. We look at the credit to purchase, the auto loans, your for your employment. So there's a lot and your insurance factor, right? Because your credit. So there's 3 different scores that we all look at when you get into our program.
Right. Okay. And so who do you think needs credit repair? Who would benefit most from credit repair or credit restoration?
I would say people who are looking to purchase a home. Of course, I think they're the ones that need to increase their credit score because there are certain things. So there are people who have collections. They think, oh, I have to pay all these collections. No, you don't. There's things that we can do to help you to get them and dispute them off of your account. So 1 in every 4 Americans that have a low credit score.
Okay. I'm one of those Americans who has bad credit.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, I want to buy a house, but I can't buy it. I'm now in credit repair and credit restoration. How long will I need to be in that in order to start taking effect? And it doesn't matter how low the credit score is, how big, because I know people vary.
Yes.
So is there a baseline or a minimum? Kind of go into that.
So it just depends on where you want to be, right? I have some clients that have their credit score very low, that is very poor, and then I have some that are good, but they want to have a higher credit score. So they just want to increase their credit. With that, there's different programs that I have in our system that can help you do your credit to increase it. So it can take up to 3 months. It can take 6 months. It's just depending on the person, on how much work they put into it too.
Yeah.
Because they have to do their part of sending things out. If they're receiving letters from credit bureaus, they need to make sure that they're sending them in to our company to make, going over everything that needs to be done. Right. So it can be 3 months. So I've had one client that had at least a 200-point increase in 90 days because she stayed on top of it. She did what she needed to do.
Right.
And follow the programs that we have.
Absolutely. So I think when it comes to credit repair and credit restoration, the biggest thing that I think I would worry about is like, oh my gosh, this is gonna cost me like $1,000 or it's gonna cost me $500. So how much does credit restoration or credit repair typically cost? Is there like a big vast range? And I'm assuming that if it's free, it's not gonna be good.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's probably a myth, or like the $1,000 is the best. And I'm like, well, I'm already struggling with money. I'm not gonna put $1,000. So kind of go into that a little bit.
So $90 a month, $89 a month, and if you stay within the program a little longer, it goes lower, like to $65. But there are so many different things on there that it's worth it. Like I would say it's worth it. What is it? You're paying maybe $2 a day just so you can get your credit score up. That's going to save you more than high interest rates on your vehicles, high interest rates on homes. So it's better to do it that way to get it going. I've learned so much with the credit repair, things that I never even knew you could do.
We all hear credit score, credit's important. But as just a regular consumer or just a person who's buying a home, why is credit score so important, and why should I even care in the first place?
So credit score is very important because it's expensive to have a bad credit. If you have a higher credit, you save more money. If you have bad credit, you're going to spend more money. So interest rates are going to be a lot higher. So it's always good to have good credit. Bad credit will hurt you in the long run, and you're going to be paying double, triple the amount for an item that you could pay the regular cost for.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So pretty much just good, healthy credit habit.
But yeah, if there's any other questions or anybody that might be looking into it, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help them get their credit where it needs to be.
I absolutely love it. That's really beneficial and super helpful. I think a lot of people are so lost when it comes to credit repair. So I appreciate you for answering my questions and kind of clearing all of those things up. Is there anything else that you want to say before we go to the people on my YouTube?
No, don't hesitate to give me a call. Like I said, a lot of people are embarrassed to speak of their credit.
Yeah.
There's thousands and millions of people that don't have the perfect credit, but I'm here to help you get to where you need to be. And of course, it's going to benefit you in the long run, your kids and things like that. So credit is a very, very important factor in life.
Exactly. You have to stress on it to not stress about it later.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. Isn't she lovely? I love her so much. We're in offices like right next to each other.
Yes.
Okay, but everybody, this is Priscilla. She's a realtor here in San Antonio. She's wonderful to work with, either with real estate or credit repair. I'm Kristina Zachary. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one.
Bye.